I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome to the Dance Influence with Dana Alexa. I'm your host, Dana Alexa. I have my lovely co-host, Miss Danielle Rose. We got strobe lights today.
It's a party.
It is a party because our special guest today is my very good friend, the amazing Phil Wright. Yay, thanks for being here. We are so excited. If you don't know Phil, he has over a million subscribers on YouTube, 280,000 on Instagram. But to me, what's more impressive than that is that he has managed to turn his very popular class structure into a Disney Channel TV show that is airing right now. It's called Disney's Fam Jam, and it is so amazing. I'm just so excited. My friend is killing the friggin' game out here. I'm so excited. We're so happy to have you today. Thank you for being here.
Man, I'm so excited to be here. First of all, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Isn't she amazing?
She's amazing.
It's awesome. I'm so happy for you. This is amazing. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy
We're
to
so
be
excited to pick your brain about everything that you're doing later on in the show. But every week we do start with a topic of discussion. And this week, I don't know if you guys have been seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're not part of the dance industry here in LA, what's kind of happening and what happens pretty constantly, but from time to time it kind of flares up and becomes a point of discussion, is that different teachers and choreographers kind of make public statements saying that certain people's classes or certain people's style is not something that other dancers or students should be supporting, and that it's not advancing the industry, that it's detracting from the industry. And it becomes, it's never usually someone who names names on who they're talking about specifically, but you can kind of tell who they're talking about. So it becomes, this is some of the tea. This is the tea. If you're not here, I have to tell you what's going on. And that's part of what's going on right now. It becomes like a bit of a war back and forth between, no, this class isn't valid, and, this class, because they film too much or because they have celebrities come through or they pick songs that are going to go viral, their class is not a valid class for you to take and it's a waste of your time. And then those teachers come back and say, like, leave us alone, mind your own business, pretty much. And so it becomes a war back and forth. So now that we have Phil in the studio, also a teacher, him and I are both teachers here in LA, really interested to get your point of view and perspective on that. How do you feel about what's happening?
Well, first of all, I feel like dance is such a free form of art. And I feel that, a lot of people may have opinions about, what they think that a class should be ran or the way a certain person should, dance or whatever the case is. I feel that we need to get back to the authenticity of dance alone and understand that we're free to do whatever we want, and the critics, quote unquote critics, that may have their opinions about whatever, it's really just a wave. It comes in and it goes out. And then once you hit another wave, it comes in and it comes out. And just as long as you understand that wave is going to continuously do that throughout your career, you'll start to understand that they come and go and they come and go and come and go. So what's most important for me and what I've lived by throughout my career is that people are going to say whatever they want to say, regardless of whether you do what you love or not. So, I keep my head on strong when it comes to doing whatever I feel at heart. So if I want to, dance outside in the dirt and I want to mix contemporary with some hip hop, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And just let them continue to, because you just never know what could break another door down, you know what I mean? So in order to do that, you got to kind of test the waters and be willing to be talked about and be willing to, be under surveillance all the time. So that's how I kind of think of things.
Yeah. How do you feel about it being a student out here in classes in LA? What's your feeling seeing teachers kind of go back and forth, well-respected teachers in this industry, kind of battle it out publicly? How does that make you feel as a student?
Well, it's frustrating because I just feel like everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own style. Everyone has what's going to make them grow and what they know will help them grow. And I think that it just matters, just teach your classes the way you want to teach it. And those people that want to learn in that way will flock to your classes. And I don't think it's fair for anyone to be judging or saying what's right and what's wrong because everyone's so different.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be a right or wrong. It's just like these people will be in your classes because this is the way you like to teach and this is how they like to learn. So, I mean, I feel like that's for any craft, any art, and I do agree with what you're saying. It's free. It's dance is just something that is expressive. It doesn't have to be a yes or a no.
It just as long as it involves love and a goal to reach, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I feel like you're good to go, whatever the case is. But just don't, mix berries together and just be like, oh, okay, I got a steak dinner for you. You know?
Berry. I'll speak my piece on this subject, but I want to speak it directly to you guys, to any students that are out there, any dancers that are out there that watch this show, or students of dance anywhere. This is my advice to you. You are the only person that knows what is going to work for you. You're the only person that knows what kind of training you need, what kind of advice you need, what kind of classes help to enhance your growth and make you the best version of yourself as a human and as a dancer. There is nobody, no matter how much experience they have, no matter how many credits they have, no matter how many followers they have, that can tell you how to live your life except for you. So if you walk into a classroom and you feel you're supported, you feel growth, you feel good energy, you feel like you learned something, then guess what? You got your money's worth. If you go into a class and you feel like it's more of a charade and a show and it's not about you and you didn't get anything out of it, instead of taking to Instagram to bash that person, you can make a more important statement by not supporting that class with your presence or your money in the future and moving on to something that does make you grow. And for me, as an educator, my job is to support you in whatever route you take, not to bash the other people around me, but to support you in whatever classes you feel you need to be the best version of yourself. I love you and I support you, whether or not I completely agree or I love that person's class myself. That's not for me to say. So to me, I think as educators, we need to support students in their pursuit and in their path, and that's really our only responsibility. Right. And my last little note on the subject is what I've come to find is that a lot of people take to Instagram trying to tell you, I got it like that, so I could tell you what to do. And these people suck because I know better. And the thing to me is, when you really got it like that, you're not looking side to side long enough to even know what the hell anybody else is doing. You're steady on your path. Your eyes are focused forward. The last thing on my mind is let me look side to side and bash another instructor.
Absolutely.
It's let me just do what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
If what you're doing is working for you, because at the end of the day, I know and I trust that if you are a teacher in this city, if you have a class, whether it's on the roster at a big studio or you have a classroom that you rent and people show up, then whether or not anyone understands it, you did something to deserve that platform.
Right.
And that's it. And we can't take away from that. And we're a community.
Yeah,
I say this all the time.
Exactly.
We're a community. We're dancers in the same struggle. If you're a dancer anywhere in the world, I automatically love you and automatically see you because the love is the same. The passion is the same. We are family.
Yep. Listen, I remember Fly Styles told me this a while back, and shout out to Fly. He's dope. He told me, he was like, broke gets creative really quick, you know? So having no money and zero opportunities, you get creative real fast, you know what I mean? So you never know anyone's circumstances or whatnot. And if you want to be that creative genius that just wants to take initiative to just go ahead and create something new, then by all means do that. It's, once again, dancing is a free form of art. And I feel like we should take hold of that. And I 100% agree with you with what you just said.
I mean, and you're a great example of this. If you had looked around at what everyone else was doing and done just that, you wouldn't have created the Parent Jam.
So many times. Oh my gosh. So many times where when I first created the brand, the Parent Jam, left and right, and I didn't notice I was getting criticized until
you were so busy focused on your own shit, right?
I mean, so I had not, and what happened is that I kept producing material on social media and whatnot, and I wouldn't sit until I get tired and like, you know what? I need to take a break. That's the time where I'm like scrolling through, reading comments. Oh, you suck. Oh, this is trash. This parents
Isn't that
and
the
kids.
Best thing? You're spending time just trying to create and do great things. Then you take a breath and you're like, all right, let me see what the people say.
Let me rest.
You're garbage.
You're garbage.
Great.
Susan, you should be working somewhere else.
Like,
Alrighty. Thanks, guys.
And what I was really trying to say is that you know, by the time they're criticizing one piece, I have 5 other pieces ready for them to go ahead and criticize until, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I stuck my head into the dirt, and, you know, that's when the Parent Jam came about. I was teaching at a studio at IDA, where you was teaching as well.
That's right.
And, yeah, and I created the brand there, and I just went ahead with it, and, you know, got the kids involved with the parents, because the parents will actually just sit outside and just watch.
Yeah,
and,
so just
you
quick
know.
before he goes on about it, just to give you guys who are not in the dance community out here an idea of what the Parent Jam is that Phil took the typical class structure where people come into class and learn a combo and opened it up to people to students to bring their families or their neighbors or their friends or whoever would maybe bring them to dance class and drop them off.
Right.
He said, don't drop them off, come inside and everybody dance, and let's put the family like back into the dance community.
You come inside.
inside.
Come in here.
I'm the Uber driver. Yeah.
Everybody.
Get in here. Get in here.
So anyway, that's the Parent Jam, which is the class that this new TV show Fam Jam is based off of. So go ahead, go on with what you were saying.
So basically, you know, the entire structure of the class was based off of fun, love, and just having great energy in the class. It wasn't really focused on. I started to see the dance community became very critical about how well your choreography was translated through Instagram and, you know, social media. And, you know, you had to be on point. If you messed up, you wasn't getting, you know, are you going to send that video? You know, it was very, you know, very critical in those areas of work. So I just, you know, went a different direction and created a class where everyone was welcome. And, you know, typically all of my classes are usually beginner, intermediate level. So I usually get the pedestrians that walk in, like, you know, I want to try dancing. So my class was already kind of had that format. So I think I maximized correctly when we say, like, you know, the beginner, intermediate class. So I got everyone in class, and it just mixed the, you know, the love together with everyone, and it was fun. It was really fun. And then it just took off, and, you know, before you know it, I had friends came in. Someone came in with a dog one day. Came in with a dog. This is my child right here. You know,
I'm having a birthday party for my dog on Saturday. She turns 1. I think you got the invite. You're both invited. That's my child. I'm in my 30s. I have a dog. Try and tell me different. I mean, you have a dog now.
Right.
Jasper is your son, your
Jasper. Shout
grandchild.
out to Jasper.
Jasper, you can follow him on Instagram.
Yes, puppy_Jasper7. Anyway.
So far, we haven't talked about any of our own handles, but you can follow Phil's dog.
And your dog.
And Charlie_J_.
Always an underscore.
That's
anyway.
right. You have underscores, and that's all you can do because people steal the time. Anyway.
Yeah, so
yeah.
It end up doing that, and a producer reached out to me. There was an article written out about how fun-loving the Parent Jam is and everything like that.
And some of the videos caught fire, went viral.
Yeah, definitely. The first video was released on May 17, 2017, and it was to let me rolly, the roller song. I don't know. So I had, and then the cover photo was a mom, and she had a shirt that said the original, and then her daughter, which was the remix.
Oh my gosh, how cute!
And you know, and it was so fun. It was so
cute.
great.
They branded it.
Yeah,
like they did.
exactly. And I didn't tell them to do that. They just brought their own clothes, and then soon enough, everyone came in like matching pajamas and like different things and everything. So it caught on fire, and she written an article. Some lady wrote an article. Then
Thanks, some lady.
Yeah, some lady. I don't know who it
We
was.
appreciate you because now he has a TV show because of you. So great job, lady.
Right.
We appreciate that.
And then producer Irene Dreher, who produced Sister, Secret Life of Zach and Cody, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, she reached out to me. She said, hey, can we meet up? We met up at a Starbucks very early in the morning. I told Haley, who is my manager, who manages me right now currently. We met up with her. We said, maybe a waste of time. I don't know. The first thing that Irene said was like, this is a TV show. I was like, okay, and where do we go from here? I got a class to teach in 30 minutes, man. You got to wrap this up. So 9 months later, fast forward, we were in Disney's office, and we got the green light for the Parent Jam, which is now called Disney's Fam Jam on Disney Channel.
And tell people where they can watch Disney's Fam
Yes,
Jam.
you can watch Disney's Fam Jam on Disney Channel. Right here? Disney.
there.
You can watch Disney's Fam Jam on Disney Channel on Sunday at 8:25 p.m.
And if you guys haven't seen episodes of the show, I had the pleasure of being with you to watch the first episode. And the show is just exactly not only what the dance industry is missing, but what TV is missing. It puts the fun and the love and the family time back into like your Sunday night. Like you literally, whether you have a family of your own or not, you can't help but get engrossed in the show and love the families. You're like rooting for someone and like, come on! Like it's so fun and it's so like, it's just so important.
Yeah.
And to think you did this from social media.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, why would you waste your time?
And once again, had I listened to the critics who's like, you're trash, you're this,
or
you're
you're
that.
wasting your time with the social media nonsense, right?
Yeah. And, people telling me that social media isn't relevant, it's not important. Why do you post so much? Why do you record every class? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And all I have to say to those people is that I'm a producer, I'm a creator, and I will continue to create by any means necessary. So it doesn't matter. You can shoot your opinions at me all you want, but I'll take them
if
in.
Social media goes out, we'll be sending messages in a bottle.
Right, exactly. I'll be.
What you got, an 8-track?
I'll be going outside, hanging up flyers or whatever the case is.
Back to grassroots. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And I genuinely feel that the only people who could criticize this idea are people who did not think of it first. And they were a little bit aggravated. They're like, I could have done this 10 years ago. And you know what? Too bad.
Yeah. And you know what? To tell you the truth, you just don't have time to look at others and just kind of criticize.
That's what I'm saying.
And if I do have time, I'm spreading nothing but love. And if there's something that I feel like I need to say, you know what? I check my ego at the door. And it was like, no, let that person find its way on its own, you know? And, had I had like people in my ear, really close ones telling me, no, you should do this, maybe I had listened to them. But all of my close people around me were fully supportive in whatever I did. So
well, that's kind of important. You have to make sure you have the right team. The right team.
Absolutely. Wink, wink.
So yeah, I mean, for us to really wrap our heads around this, for you guys at home, like, he is not only a personality on the show, he's not only doing some of the choreography for the show, he's producing the show. He's a producer at the Disney Channel because he posted a video on Instagram. I need you guys to understand this because it's not, people are not getting it. This is not a small thing. This is a huge thing for the dance community. And this is something that if you're a dancer and you're not supporting this show, you are nuts, because this is a major avenue for all of us in this industry to stand up and listen and to watch how we can parlay these talents and how we can become the people in the forefront where we belong. We have great ideas and we have great work ethic. To me, dancers have been outworking people since the dawn of time.
Oh, absolutely.
But we have not been making the money we deserve and getting the recognition we deserve and having the voice we deserve.
Absolutely.
How many times have we choreographed something and handed it to a producer that then you were like, what did you do to my stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
You ruined it.
And, I think I'm in a unique situation because
I don't think anyone has ever done this before. Correct me if I'm wrong out there, if anybody knows of anything like this happening before, but I ain't never heard of it.
The first one?
Yeah, for sure. And Disney's given me a lot of power, and I do have a lot of say-so. And, it's hard because us as dancers, we're being told what to do all the time. We have to take instructions all the time. And then, transform that into a great conversation on stage. Whereas now, everyone's looking at me in the room like, what do you think, Phil? And I'm like, I'm not used to, calling shots like that.
I got to be on set during the test episode of this to assist Phil during the test episode of Van Damme.
Yes, I did call you.
And I can honestly attest to that was Phil. They'd be like, Phil, what do you think? He'd be like, you know what I think? I think this, that, and the other. And then he'd look at me and be like, am I good? Was that
the right answer?
And I'm like,
you're okay, dude.
Get out there. I mean, a little bit of fake it till you make it, because it's uncharted waters.
Absolutely.
And ultimately, you do have to. Disney has a pretty good opinion of people. They know what they're doing out there, from what I understand.
Absolutely.
So if they trust you to make the decisions, that's even more cosign on what you already know about yourself and how great you are. Now you have an even bigger cosign, and you just learn to trust yourself in the process. And I can see, there was so much growth in that with you, right?
100%.
As the season went on, you just
100%. And, you know, there are some things that I needed to get used to, being in front of a like studio audience and, you know, being able to speak as well as I need to on a major TV network, you know, platform. I'm not on Instagram anymore, which was pretty cool because this was practice, right? This is the practice. This is, you know, hey, how's it going? Well, good morning. You know, the you know, everyday morning thing that I do.
Yeah.
So like, you know, it's all a learning experience for me, and I'm just so happy to be in a position where I'm, you know, working alongside with the company as big as Disney to be supporting me in the way they are. So I just couldn't be more grateful to be in the position I am in.
If you had to give someone watching saying, I want to do something like that, like 3 pieces of advice on how they can follow in your footsteps, what would you say were like the 3 most important things?
Keep your head in the dirt, okay? Keep your head in the dirt. And what I mean by that is just keep working. I'm a workaholic. You know, I work every single day. And the time that I have off, I feel weird. I feel like I need something, and then I end up finding something to do. Yeah. So keep your head in the dirt. And secondly, is just do everything with love and have an intention behind your purpose. You know what I mean? Like your purpose serves a greater, you know, message than just what your insecurities are, your ego stands for, whatever the case is. So really stand by that purpose and do it with love. And then most importantly, make sure that you look out for the people who looked out for you when you didn't have nothing. You know what I mean? Like once, because you're going to make it. And then like, you know, people always ask me, did you ever think that you'll be in the position that you are in right now? I'm like, no, dude. But I knew I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just as long as you had that arrow on you and you know there's a direction to go, then you're fine. So I knew I was going somewhere. I just didn't know where. And the people who looked out, who were saying, you know what, the Parent Jam, it's kind of weird, Phil, but I like it. It's cool. It's dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stand by you. I'm going to like it or share it or however social media, whatever you do on social media to do, whatever. So, you know, those people I hold close to my heart because, you know, they could have up and left on me, just like everyone, you know, not everyone else, but like they could have just not believed in the product that I was trying to produce. And they believed in me more so than the product that they were trying to believe in.
Yeah.
So those are the 3.
And they believed in you before it made them money and before they
Yeah.
had a vested interest in like, oh, this might benefit me somehow. So now let me decide I'm on board.
Absolutely.
They really were there from the beginning. And
Yeah.
and I think that 3rd rule gets lost in LA a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you'll get a little bit of amnesia. You get where your arrow's going and you'll be like, I'm here alone.
Yeah. I did this all by myself. No, you did not. You did not
You
do
did
this
this
by
all
anybody.
by-
Yeah. That's not happening. And you know what? Like, there's no, like for me, I tell my students this all the time. There's no successful person in this world that has made it by themselves.
No.
You know, there was some sense of support.
And there's so many people. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you couldn't have had a class if people didn't come. You
Absolutely.
couldn't have had a class
Yeah.
if someone didn't let you host it
Yeah.
there or have the space. You know, you couldn't have done it without your manager. And another important member of your team, your wife.
Yes, my wife.
For those of you who don't know, Mr. Phil is married to the beautiful Ashley.
Get a good look at
Yeah,
that.
let's see. There's your
Get a
show
look
in
at-
the ring.
get a look at
Sorry,
that.
ladies. And the good news, the best news is that she's pregnant.
Yes,
First
yes.
baby on the way,
Newborn
Papa
on the way.
Phil. How are you? Yeah, you got some applause. How are you feeling about becoming a daddy?
You know, life is moving along. I still don't believe it's. I don't believe it's happening right now. You know,
Till it comes out.
Yeah,
till it
She-
comes out.
yeah.
You know,
And a baby
and-
girl, right?
Baby
Yeah.
girl on the
Oh.
way.
I
Baby
knew it.
girl on
I
the
saw.
way.
I
Yeah,
was
me
watching
too.
that, and I.
You know, I was rooting for a boy the entire time.
I knew it was gonna be
I
a
was
girl.
rooting for a boy, and
You're a
as
girl
we got
dad.
close, yeah, you know, yeah.
You'll have a boy too. Ashley's ready to get pregnant again. I can see it in her face. She's already thinking. Next one, next one.
Right. And you know, I want a village, so I
Of
told her,
course.
I was like, look, I want a lot of babies.
In case no one comes to these classes anymore, we gotta be able to get kids in the door with their own family.
I'm gonna introduce my own self on my Disney show. Coming down, the Wright family.
They're competing against each other.
No, but yeah, she's pregnant. She's in her last trimester right now as we speak. And, you know, every morning she's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
In a good way.
Yeah, no, like that. But the belly is growing and she's starting to
Getting
feel
more
the
and more
kicks and
real.
punches. And yeah, things are getting real. Like she was driving the other day and then, you know, the baby kind of did like a backflip or something. She's like, oh, you know. So it's becoming more real. And you know what? It serves well because with me teaching kids for a very long time, I feel comfortable with everyone else's kid.
Yeah.
I don't know how my role is gonna be played when my newborn baby is born. I definitely need some tips and help. Everyone say you're gonna be a great father. You're gonna be.
No, you'll be a great dad. And I think being a dad will obviously help you to further, dive into this realm that you're in. You're running a thing for parents. So being a parent yourself can only enhance your ability to lead that group and be more connected to children, because you'll have your own to test it out on.
Yeah.
Any names in mind for her yet?
We're still thinking, man. We're still thinking. I know Ashley, my wife, she wants to keep the culture involved. So
she's Hawaiian, right?
Yeah, she is Polynesian,
Polynesian.
Samoan, Japanese, and Italian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's a mixture. So we're looking to keep the culture involved with the name, but we haven't decided as of yet. So
that's
but we're
fun.
still
That'll be
thinking.
Exciting.
exciting. And so when is she due? When can we watch?
May 17th.
May.
Cute.
And you know
So
me,
close to my
I'm a live stream everything. No, I won't live stream.
Don't worry. If you want to watch it, it'll be live on the air. But actually, maybe you won't get the inside tip to that. Hopefully, Ashley's probably going to be like, that's where she draws the line. But you can watch Phil and his wife on their new reality show that they're putting on there. You're producing on for your YouTube, right?
Yes, on my YouTube. It's called Love Done Right.
Love Done Right. Super
and,
cute.
Years ago, I proposed to her at Millennium.
That's right. So their proposal video actually was one of the videos that went viral. He proposed to Ashley during one of his dance classes.
Yes, and that was a shocker. So that kind of went viral there. And, I started to notice that everyone likes to see us argue and bicker. And
people love couples.
People do love couples.
People love couples.
They love love. They love to
love
fight.
love.
They love to, make amends.
I think it makes us all more human.
Yeah, absolutely. Much more relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I kind of want to, break the mold where, every dancer, if you're in the industry, you got to be single and you got to be, whatever. No, you can be married. You can have a family. You can still have those things. And, I don't want to be
keeping the hope alive for us, Danielle.
I'm like sitting over here like,
We're all right, Danny. Holding on tight. Don't you say the wrong word, Phil. You get kicked out of the studio real fast. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're fans. That's why we love it too. That's why we love it as well. We know how hard it is to keep a relationship healthy, alive, and functioning in this industry.
You know what? Let me tell you
definitely.
something. It is not easy. It's definitely not easy. And
what's one of the biggest challenges you guys face?
The biggest challenge, I would say, is the happy medium between the work life and the personal life.
That's what scares me. I'm afraid to even get involved.
I have a hard time turning off.
Yeah.
I have a hard time turning off, and she helps me do that. And when she tries to even help me do that, I reject her, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So. And then, I'm not an easy person to deal with as well. Like, I have my things that I deal with and everything
None of
like that.
the great people are. That's what I'm finding. None of the greats. We're just not an easy crowd. Okay? You get what you get.
Yeah, exactly. But, us giving our, putting that in the world and helps us actually look back at things and be like, you know what, we are actually good with each other. And, through the tests and trials, I try to really get everything, on camera, because I could write a book. Seriously. I could definitely write a book.
No. I'm sure you will write a book. And we'll have you back on the show to promote that.
Yes. But, so that's on my YouTube called Love Done Right. And
Are you posting at a specific time every week?
Every Wednesday. Specifically anywhere between 6 and 8 at night on Wednesdays. And it's always posted on my YouTube at noon on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Phil Wright.
Yeah, so make sure you guys head over to YouTube, follow, subscribe to Phil, watch Love Done Right when it airs on Wednesdays.
Yes.
Also, while you're over there, make sure you guys subscribe to AfterBuzz TV so you can check in with us every Wednesday. Leave us comments. We love to chat with you in the comments. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, make sure to subscribe and comment as well over there, because we love having you with us every week. So what do you think, aside from bringing you to Fam Jam, which is obviously massive, what do you think social media has opened up for you that you are grateful for? Like, why is this something that people should be using with all the hate that it gets and all
Right.
the flack that it gets?
Right. I think it created a lane for us for creativity. You know, as a young kid, I've always wanted to be on TV, and that was sort of like, oh man, I want to be on TV. I want to be seen. I want to be in any way possible. You know, not always, but but anyway, you know. And I think social media has actually given us a tool to really broadcast any way that we want to. And it's helped me because, you know, I'll be honest, I wasn't that booking dancer. I wasn't that going to that audition, book it on the first try, you're out of here, you go on tour, you go from one bus to the next bus to the next bus. And I think social media has actually opened up a different door for a lot of the, you know, people who had not been those type of dancers.
Absolutely.
And it really, I learned that just because you were able to go to that audition and book that tour after tour after tour does not mean that you're not as a great, you know, you're just as good as that person who booked. You know what I mean? You understand
It's
what
a
I'm
political
saying?
industry. A lot more things than how great you are go into whether or not you book an audition, including do you know the choreographer? Do you
Right.
know the team? Have you worked
Absolutely.
with these people
And
before? How tall are you?
Listen, let me tell you, there's a lot of politics.
A lot of politics.
Okay, a lot of politics. And, you know, not taking away anything from the great dancers that do that.
Of course
but for
not.
me, just speaking on my story, you know, I was not that dancer. I did not go to every, you know, I booked some auditions, but didn't book all of them. And, you know, I got, you know, very distraught, stressed out, feeling like a loser, feeling like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And during the meantime, I was still producing my stuff on social media.
Right.
And felt like I was being, you know, not more loved that way, but I felt better as a human being, or, you know, putting my material on social media.
Yeah.
I felt happier.
Yeah.
I didn't feel stressed out. I didn't feel like it was the end all be all.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh man, I feel wanted.
Yeah.
You know? So instead of chasing something that didn't suit my lifestyle, I chased what did make me happy and did
Exactly.
suit my lifestyle.
I mean, I talked about this recently on my social media. I didn't leave it up because I don't want a whole drama.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had a similar situation to you. I came out here thinking at the time when I moved out here 8 years ago, the only option for you as a dancer was to follow the one route for all dancers, which was you go to auditions, you either book them or you don't, and that's that. There was no really other choice. And I didn't like the process. I actually did have a lot of success in the auditions that I went to, but I didn't like the process. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't love the choreographers. I didn't love the treatment. I think it's wild that dancers are allowed to audition for 15 hours
Yeah, it's a lot.
unpaid,
It's a lot.
no health insurance, no worry about your body, and then maybe at the end of that you don't even book the job
a
after
lot.
you
Right.
wore
Yeah,
yourself
yeah,
into
yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just felt like this is other dancers behind these tables putting me through this. I don't know. I just didn't like the feel
Right.
of it. And again, I know that has worked for some people and they love that experience. And I think that's great. If you love it, do it. But
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I
Yeah,
hated
yeah.
it. And I felt like if this is what I have to do to be a dancer, even if I am massively successful,
Right.
I won't enjoy this in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I
And
mean,
so that's what brought me to social media
Right.
8 years ago was I was like, I just want to dance and have a good time. And I want to have dance be part of my life every day.
Yeah,
And
right.
this is how I can do that and not feel like I'm compromising
absolutely.
who I am. And, you know,
I mean, I think it's important for us to experience both.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's,
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
very, very important.
well, you
for
don't know
to
what works
experience.
for you and what doesn't until you try it, right?
Absolutely, and I think that it's important for us not to shut that door, you know, and say no.
I
I'm
still
just,
go to
you know,
auditions.
yeah, absolutely, and you know,
Just not those
audition in
big,
different
crazy
ways.
ones.
You
Yeah,
know what I
exactly.
mean? You know, go to a commercial audition.
Yeah.
Go to you know, different ways of expanding your business and brand. You know, I watched this movie that gets me going. The Founder, the McDonald's one.
Never heard it.
Oh
heard of it.
my
Never seen
gosh,
it.
such a
Good.
great movie. And it gets me in that business mindset. And, you know, it's the whole story about McDonald's, Ray Kroc, you know, coming in and swooping the business out of the McDonald's brothers.
Yeah.
And it's and I tell this to my manager whenever we kind of get sidetracked. Okay, time to sit down and watch this movie.
We're watching The Founder again.
We're watching The
love
Founder.
that.
You
It
know,
gets you back
and
on
it
track.
gets us back on track and really gets us into that lion like mentality and
Yeah.
be like, you know what, all right, let's go get it. You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes we need that reset button. But you know, as far as the dancers experiencing going to auditions, and then, there's no right or wrong way.
That's the common thread.
Yeah.
And for those of you who aren't out here in LA and you don't know, it is a point of contention as well that, some people saying if you get successful on social media, that's not valid. It should go back to the old school way of dancers having to, fight their way up the line to get to wherever they need to go. And again, that's just another place that we all will agree to disagree, I think. And just
Absolutely.
that, at the end of the day, I think that, like I have said in the past, that old school way works for who it works for.
Yeah.
And social media works for who it works for. And all of the new doors and paths that haven't opened yet, but that will open soon, will work for who they work for.
Right.
And I think we should celebrate there being more avenues and more lanes for dancers to live a life that makes them happy and lets them pursue an art, rather than trying to close those lanes.
Yeah.
We should let dancers disperse.
And
Get out there, baby.
Yeah, and obviously there were those two worlds where if you're a social media, you're just in the social media area. And if you were that underground dancers, you only took classes from this studio or whatever. And I think that what helped me keep the relationships mended between the two worlds was that I only, once again, going back to our initial thought, was lead everything with love. Don't say anything if you don't have anything nice to say. And if you want to comment on something, put the fire hands. Put this. Bah, 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 bah. Put the heart. Ta, 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 ta.
Or don't say anything.
Or don't say anything.
You're not
keep your mouth
obligated to
shut.
comment about everything.
Yeah. And everyone feels like they need to when they really don't.
No,
you know
they
what I
don't.
mean? So I think that's what helped me by sharing nothing but love. Now that I'm at this, massive platform that is Disney Channel, now I'm receiving love from both areas. Had I just ignored
social media.
Not social media, but had I ignored the underground world of auditioning and stuff like that, and be like, no, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, you're doing this wrong, then I'll only get half of that love just for supporting. But now, like, I get it on a global scale, and I don't have any enemies.
Yeah.
I don't have any enemies, and I love everyone, and, I hope they love me back.
Yeah. Or at least if they don't, they're quiet. Hate me in silence at your house.
And you know what? It's good. Ignorant is bliss. Like, you don't know. So,
well,
leave me
also
happy.
both of you are inspiring in that way where, like, you're dancers and you're also social media influencers, but, like, you're giving the people that maybe can't even move to LA a chance to know that is also an option. If they're able to make content and post all the time, they can gain followers, and that might help them come out here instead of, because before I moved here, I was like, okay, I need to be in LA because you have to be with the people, you have to be make connections and stuff. But now I feel like that's changing because of these doors that are opening in ways that social media has created.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were living in Alabama and you said, hey, I'm moving to LA tomorrow, everyone sends you, oh my God, have a great time, and you pack your game, hey, I'm going to LA. See you, step on a fake plane and go right back to bed, back into Alabama, and continue to produce all the material in Alabama. People will give you so much praise just because of the LA tag.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everything lives on social media now, and it's not subjective to one area of their being. So when kids and parents ask me, hey, do I have to move to LA? I tell them, no, you don't have to do anything. McDonald's was created, and they were like, oh, okay, let's start building here. That's exactly how they started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dana and Alexa's like, you know what? All right, I'm going to start here.
I started in New York.
We start somewhere. You know what I mean? You have to start, and it's good to branch off, but you have to start.
There's even tutorials online. Like,
Absolutely.
There's just so much.
At the end of the day, if you love to dance, the first thing you need to do is find a way to dance every day. You need to find a way to dance and train and have dance be part of your life every single day. And once you do that, you have to be open to where it leads you. Where do you feel called? Where do you feel like you're going to really grow and push yourself the most? And then you just kind of take it step by step. There's no one answer or one route that works for everybody.
I think what the one excuse that I get all the time is, well, we don't have popping, we don't have that. But did you do research? Did you do a little bit more research?
There's not one popper in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, come on. Hey,
don't make us come over there.
And to that point, it's probably few, very little. But I think you should dig a little bit deeper. That convention that you drive 5 hours for, instead of driving 5 hours for, you can probably drive 2 hours and get the fundamental class instead of going to this massive convention where you may be overlooked. You know what I mean?
What do you really want?
Exactly.
And how do you want to get there?
Exactly.
That's it. Choose a route and then don't make excuses. There's always an opportunity. There's always a way, and where there isn't one,
Yeah.
you can create
Create
one.
one.
That's okay, you know. And I definitely think that you're just a great example of that, of someone who has kept their head down, tried to stay out of the, this isn't wrong for this reason and that's wrong for that reason. So for those of you guys, again, that maybe aren't here all the time and don't know, people's argument is that social media has opened up avenues for dancers that they don't feel have a quality that, you know, they're not qualified some way to be voices for the industry or to be teachers in the industry because they're not good enough or they didn't train with the right people or whatever it is. And, you know, all that is, it's opinion at the end of the day. It's just somebody's opinion, and everyone's opinion is valid in its way, but not everyone's opinion needs to be heard so loud, maybe.
Right.
You know, especially like Phil's saying, if your opinion is negative or hurtful, what's really the point in tearing somebody else down?
Even retaliating. Sometimes when, you know, I get attacked or whatever, you know what? This is a good time for another post.
Yeah.
I go like, I wiggle my shoulders. I do just like that too. I go like that, and I write my
Well,
caption. and I
success
post
is the
it.
best response to a hater, right?
Right. You just continue to produce.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm accepting
'Cause it
all hate
worked.
mail at the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
You can send it to them and they'll just throw it right in
There's
the
no
trash.
hate mail.
I'm no longer accepting hate comments on Instagram. They have to go directly to Mickey Mouse. He's handling
Come on,
it.
See you,
Mickey
Mickey. See the mouse.
He's deciding whether this is readable or not. But you've also, again, besides the Fam Jam, which is so big that it really is a whole thing to talk about, but you've also booked big jobs with other big artists. MC Hammer.
MC Hammer. They just finished their tour, their summer tour. He's getting
Was
ready
that something
for.
you booked through an agency, or was that also something that? What happened? What did you do?
That was booked through social media.
Social
That was
media.
on
Come on, social media.
Yeah. That was
Yes.
just-
I didn't know that. I'm just throwing
Yeah.
darts out here and hoping we
Yeah.
hit something.
And you know what? And you know, just to shorten that story up, I did a class video. I sent out material to. I tagged MC Hammer. I sent it to his Twitter account, and it was through his messages. And I said, "Hey, we'd love to work with you." Sent him my contact info. Didn't think I was gonna receive anything back. Sure enough,
Wow.
Hey, we'll work soon. Boom. 2 months later, he called me up. He said, "Hey, I need you to choreograph my 25th anniversary at the Staples Center." I was like, "This is MC Hammer." Oh, okay, cool.
You got a job basically by sending somebody a Twitter message.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
With an icon.
I'm just shook over here.
Yeah. and-
Wait, what did you do? How did you react when you
No,
responded?
I was in the car. I was in my Mitsubishi Mirage from 1999. Red.
Shout out to Mitsubishi.
You know, and he ended up actually calling me because I left my phone number in his inbox, and he called me and hello, Phil, and I go, yes. He's like, this Ham. Ham? I don't know a Ham.
Hamilton?
Hamilton, is that you? It's MC Hammer. And then he just went on and told me the story. And
Wow.
We've been working ever since, and that was about 2 years ago.
Wow.
So
It's amazing.
I mean, I saw you recently doing something with Will Smith.
yeah, Will Smith. I actually worked out. There was a lady that walked into my class with the Parent Jam, brought her child there. Turns out that she works for Westbrook Productions, which is Will Smith's production company. And she took the class. She said, "Oh man, gosh, you're wonderful, whatever." She sent me a message through Instagram saying that I may have a cool project for you. Can you submit? I submitted. 3 years, not 3 years, 3 weeks later, she hits me up and says, "Hey, you know, would you mind coming in, working with this artist?" She wouldn't tell me who it was for because of non-disclosure agreement. I walk in, there's Will Smith.
Oh my gosh.
And then through that, I met a director, Mike Diva, worked on that project with him, with Will Smith, did that project, that finished. 2 weeks later, he reached out to me via Instagram saying that he had a project for me again, and turned out to be another artist. So I went there. He wouldn't tell me, once again, NDA, everything like that. Turned out to be Lil Nas X. And that was just a snowball.
I just hope.
Instagram DM.
I just
main
hope
key.
that somebody is listening out there that needs to hear this.
Oh my gosh.
That anything will work
Yeah.
if you believe that it will work for you, if you allow it to work for you, and to
Mm-hmm.
close the door on social media. I hope that you guys out there that are new dancers aren't hearing this hate and thinking, letting that detract you
Yeah.
from something that can bring you this kind of opportunity, because what a shame for us to miss out on what's ahead for us, or how we can change or adjust or uplift the industry because a couple of really loud opinions make us embarrassed to do that. Because to me, if you're hearing Phil and you're not inspired to get on Instagram and post something dope, then I don't know what you're listening to. I'm already thinking
I'm like over
what-
here posting. No,
Danielle's making a post right now. She's tagging Miley Cyrus, her
okay.
idol.
Yes.
Miley, please work with Danielle. So, like, please just know that, so, you know, your life and your path in this industry is going to be whatever you decide it's going to be.
Yeah.
And if you believe that these things can work for you, and you
Yeah.
do it with good intentions and a good heart, and you just leave it open, let it be open. Don't put limits on it. Don't close doors on it. Just
I will say this
build.
though. This is all through good relationship though.
Right.
Good energy, good product,
Good intentions.
you
Good
know,
work ethic.
good work ethic.
Yeah.
This is not just post anything
Right.
and just expect, you know, whatever. This is really hard work, and when I get there on set, if I was trash, then I wouldn't be, you
Right.
know, referred to
You'd
the
be
next
fired.
job.
Yeah.
I'd
These
be
wouldn't be
fired.
jobs you did. They'd be jobs you were fired
You
from.
know, and people
Yeah.
people wouldn't call me back or
Yeah.
refer me to the next job. So remind you, though, you can do all the posting that you want to, but just a solid reminder that it comes with hard work, passion, and love in everything that you do. So.
And doing it with a good, I think the main thing is your intention. I read somewhere that you don't get what you hope for, you get what you intend. So if you go into something intending that you're going to be famous and everything's going to be about you, you're going to come up short every time.
Absolutely.
But if you go into something hoping that you're going to expand, that you're going to bring love, that you're going to grow, that you're going to, you know, bring positivity, things that are needed for us on a community or on a global level, you do open the door for great things to happen to you. And I think that's just something that we need to stay focused on. And if social media is that outlet that'll bring you those things, then use it. But use it for that growth and that progress. All right, we got a real quick game.
Oh, we got a
Danielle-
game?
We got a
Danielle's gonna hit us
game.
with like
Uh-oh.
3 would you rather
All right.
questions.
Let's do like an easy one to start.
Okay.
Would you rather be constantly tired, no matter how much sleep, or constantly hungry, no matter how much you eat?
I think you are constantly hungry already, aren't you?
I am always constantly hungry. I don't know.
Tough one.
Wait, say that one more time.
Okay, would you rather be constantly tired, no matter how much sleep you get, or constantly hungry, no matter how much you eat?
I would rather be constantly hungry. Because
Why?
I don't work well when I'm tired. Can you imagine me at this interview? Like
Yeah.
I can't do it. If I'm hungry, I'm a little hungry right now, actually. And I can
Yeah.
still function.
Function, yeah.
Yeah, I would go
I'm not
with the
thrilled.
eat. Yeah, tired. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't get much sleep. But I'm
So
never.
you are always tired and
I
hungry
am.
anyway.
You know, I cut on for some reason, like, and then I crash.
Right, yeah.
afterwards, you know?
You do your job, and then you're like,
Yeah.
I
I
need some
think-
food and some
Does
sleep.
this happen to you? I think that we're all kind of the same in this. You don't sleep for like 3 weeks,
Right.
and then one day you sleep for like 20 years.
Yep,
You wake
yep,
up and
yep.
you're like, is it what
Wait,
year?
what galaxy am I in right now?
Who are we? Yeah, that's what I do. I sleep like 26 hours a month just on
Just
at
one
one
day.
time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, would you rather be booked but always make at least one mistake, like on a dance job, or be a perfect dancer but never be booked?
Oh my gosh, I would rather be booked and make that mistake every single time.
Left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I agree with you. There's no
Oops.
other way.
Oopsie daisy. Sorry.
Okay, would you rather never get angry or never be jealous?
I would rather never be jealous because I think jealousy and envy are the emotion that come so deep from the ego and just make you ugly. They make your
Yeah.
motivations ugly.
Yeah.
Anger, I think sometimes anger can be valid, especially when something is done. Like, obviously, neither of them are great.
Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if I get angry occasionally, if somebody really, really deserves it,
Yeah.
I can sit in my anger for a minute or two.
I think I need anger management counseling. My wife tells me all the time, she's like, something's wrong with you. I don't know how did you make it to Disney Channel. I don't know,
You hide
something's
it well.
wrong with you.
Yeah, I guess.
But those are the worst ones.
Yeah.
I'm that one. No, I'm kidding. Man, what would I...
Never be angry or never be jealous. You're not really jealous.
I'm never really
You
jealous.
don't strike
me
me as
either.
a.
But the
even
thing is, I
understand
would
that.
see jealousy as a motivational tool, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how light my life is. Like I would never, I would never be jealous of another person's life because I love mine so much. You
Or
know?
just because you can have everything that anyone has. What's the point of being jealous? Just be like, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
I have
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I'll go get my
Share,
own.
yeah.
But I think everyone has that a little bit of that. You know what I mean?
That's not
like,
jealousy, though,
that's
right?
Just, yeah.
That's
What
inspired.
is-
That's almost
yeah.
inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more inspired.
Jealousy
so that's what
is
I'm
when
saying.
you like look at somebody and you're like,
How dare they?
But that, isn't
yeah.
that like
Ugh.
envy? That's envy.
I think it's the same. Jealousy and envy.
Envy is like demonic. Like
Envy's the
oh,
darker
like,
of the
I
two.
hope
Yeah.
you don't have
This-
that.
I thought they were like kind of similar though.
Similar,
I don't
they
know.
are.
Similar.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to do either of those things.
Okay,
Danielle.
No.
great.
We hate those.
Okay, would you rather be famous when you're alive and forgotten when you die, or unknown when you're alive but famous after you die?
Famous while we're alive.
I want to leave a legacy, so I would probably want to be famous. Well,
You can't have both.
Yeah, I have to have both. Wait, okay. I'm gonna go with the second one. I would rather
Famous
be
when you-
unknown and be famous when I die.
I would rather be famous while I'm alive just because I think I would rather have the platform that fame would give me while I was alive to
Right.
influence somebody else to go on and let you be famous after I'm gone and you can carry on the legacy. So I'd like to be able to reach people. And I think once I'm dead, the way that I would reach people, I wouldn't be able to tell them, oh, wait, that's not what I meant. Don't
Right.
take it there.
Right,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
yeah.
I want to be alive with that platform so that I could be an active participant in the message and
Yeah.
in the process and in whatever I'm creating. Whereas if I'm already dead, then it's
Right.
kind of in somebody else's hands to do what they,
They can
want.
like
Right.
shift.
So
it
I
if-
would
yeah.
hope that my legacy would live on after I
Right.
died, but that it would live through somebody else to take
Yeah.
that platform and be famous and do with what they
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to. I said this on my previous post that I wanted to create something that will outlive me anyway.
I think you have
you know?
already.
Yeah.
I think that's done.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
A mission
yeah.
accomplished.
Yeah. Check,
Yeah,
done.
but that's the motivation tool, just to kind of create something that will outlive me.
we're
and,
saying
you
the
know,
same thing.
Yeah, we are,
Yeah.
just in different times.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I'm still trying to reach that. You
Right.
know, but if I don't, then so be it. But I want to make sure that I leave a thumbprint in the earth before I leave.
Yeah.
Well, I think that you are definitely on your way to leaving multiple thumbprints, not only on the earth, but on the dance community, and that you're doing great things for all of us out here. And we really appreciate you being here to chat with us today. Tell everyone where they can find you on Instagram and YouTube.
Guys, you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Phil Wright. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is Phil_Wright_. You also find the Disney Fam Jam on Disney Channel on Sundays at 8:25 p.m. Make sure you watch it, please. Show your boy some love.
Watch the show, guys.
the show.
Danielle, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Danielle Rose 143. Also, make sure you like, comment on this video, and follow us everywhere.
And you guys can follow me on Instagram at DanaAlexa_ and on YouTube at Dana Alexa Dance. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of The Dance Influence. Thank you guys for watching.
Peace.
Love y'all.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.